What's going on, people? It's Archery. Welcome back to my channel, and today I am back with another GLDL Draft League match. This is my Week 7 match versus Bubble, coach of the Gardner Guzzlords, and man, before I say anything, I need to give him major props. His team is scary, okay? And as you can see right here, this is the matchup. He's got Grimmsnarl, he's got Whimsicott. Okay, so he's got the two of the best prankster support Pokemon in the entire format, okay? I would argue those two are the best, aside from maybe like Sableye or something like that, but in draft or on the ladder, those two Pokemon are really popular, and they're just really good. He's got Arcanine, Mudsdale, Slowking, Serena, Dracloak, Toxicroak, Barbaracle, Cryogonal, and Magneton. Now, a couple things you guys need to know about Bubble's past matches. He likes bringing the Magneton, so I was expecting the Magneton this week. And he just picked up Whimsicott because last week was the last week for trades. I unfortunately didn't make any, but it's whatever. I'm okay with my team the way it is. However, he made a very good trade. Not one that I necessarily agree with per se, or like prefer. He traded out Tornadus Incarnate for Whimsicott. So I guess he wanted to make that trade, but by doing it this week, that means nobody in the league can have Tornadus. So I'm kind of okay with that. But for his team, I don't know. I think Tornadus is really sick. Regardless, it doesn't really matter. It's his team. It's his preference. So I really have no say. However, Whimsicott does give me a little bit of an issue here. And the issue is that he can run Justified Arcanine with the beat up Whimsicott. So I was actually really scared of this lead, because that lead wrecks what I have, okay, or what I brought at least. So I did not want to see the Arcanine Whimsicott lead, because Justified Arcanine with beat up just wrecks me, like wrecks me. Well, at least the strategy that I was going for this week. So I didn't realize that the Justified Arcanine and the beat up Whimsicott was a possibility until maybe a day before. So I was kind of scrambling a little bit, and I was really struggling to try and find a way around it. However, we did. I won't spoil what the match actually has, but I will go over the team I brought. So the first strategy that I saw was really good was actually Appleton. I thought Dynamax Appleton was really strong into this team. He had almost no way of hitting it for super effective damage unless he brought like offensive Whimsicott or offensive Grimmsnarl and Toxicroak. That's essentially it. Or Dracloak, I guess, but there's no way he's bringing Dracloak, right? Like I said, I have thick fat on Appleton, so I resist the ice moves that could potentially be coming from either Cryogonal or Slowking, or the triple axle from Serena, or those type things. So I'm running weakness policy on it with Ice Shard Mr. Mime. That's basically the #1 strategy I have going into this game. I feel like it had a really solid matchup versus him. He really couldn't stop it without bringing the offensive fairy types, or bringing Dracloak, or like there has to be very specific situations that he brought Pokemon for Appleton, and I just think people sleep on it too much, so I figured it would be solid here. Backup plan to that, if that didn't work out, I actually have, okay, give it a chance, okay, I know it's weird, give it a chance. Physical Primarina. Now, let me just double check this for you guys live. Primarina has a 74 base physical attack stat, okay? So you're probably thinking, dude, what are you doing? Why are you running physical Primarina? Special is just better. Okay, that may be true. However, with coaching Sock as a Dynamax option versus Arcanine, Serena, Mudsdale, potentially the Grimmsnarl, Magneton, even though it's mostly special, against Toxicroak and Barbaracle, coaching next to Primarina is just incredible. It's actually so good. So with coaching, it's so good because it actually goes through Protect and Max Guard. Shout out to, I believe, Ryan for that one. I think I learned that from him months ago. When we, I think sometime in the MDL, we were talking about coaching somewhere somehow. And he mentioned that it goes through Protect, and I remembered that. So shout out to Ryan for that one. So, that being said, I have physical Primarina with a Wakan Berry, with Coaching Sock, and I brought the Brick Break on Sock, which you're going to see here is actually going to be huge for me. Sorry, a little bit of a spoiler, but other than that, we have standard Dragapult Life Orb, Draco, Shadow Ball, Scald, you know, kind of a basic, and then Protect, obviously, but pretty basic set from Dragapult this week. I needed it as a backup sweeper, so I would bring it in after both of our Dynamaxes are done and just kind of hit things with Shadow Ball or Draco Meteor or whatever. So I felt like it was really good here. And on top of that, I have Choice Scarf Luxray, specifically because I believe it was Scarf. Give me a second. I can't actually remember the specific reason why I brought the Scarf Luxray, but I figured it would. Oh, that's right. It would outspeed the Whimsicott and chunk it with Ice Fang. So that's the main reason why. Because listen, Whimsicott gave me a lot of issues in prep. I brought the Scarf Luxray to outspeed it. And then also I have like Wild Charge Superpower, and I actually teched the Leer on it. In case I had the Luxray next to Primarina. I have Scarf Leer, so it just helps the Primarina out even more. Or Soccer, whatever. So, yeah, that's basically the game plan. Bubble gave me a lot of issues in prep, or his team at least gave me a lot of issues in prep. So without further ado, let's just get right into it, guys. All right, guys, we are back with the game. So looking at his team, he brought the Whimsicott, Grimmsnarl, Mudsdale, Slowking, Arcanine, and Serena. So this is relatively what I thought. I was actually really surprised to see no Magneton. He's been using the Magneton really well as a Dynamax option with the Eviolite. So I was kind of expecting it. That's why I had the Wakanberry on Primarina, but it's okay. So I go with the game 1 lead, which is the Appleton and Mr. Mime Galar, Cardio. Again, shout out Ryan. If you know, you know. With the Dragapult and I believe Luxray in the back. So yeah, like I said before, this gave me a lot of issues, man. Specifically the Arcanine Whimsicott lead. And then he leads Whimsicott Arcanine. So, you know, I'm thinking to myself, oh my god. And then once I see the Intimidate, such a huge sigh of relief for me. I don't think you guys understand. That was such a huge sigh of relief for me. So I realized since he didn't lead the Grimmsnarl that he probably doesn't have it. So the Max Wormwind into Arcanine seemed pretty free here, with the Ice Shard proccing the weakness policy. I was expecting a Tailwind coming out of the Whimsicott here. So I figured it would be completely fine to just go with the strategy that I planned with before I got into the match. So Apple Boy's Dynamaxing again. Let's go. I love this Pokemon so much. It's just so underrated. I love it so much. So the Ice Shard procs the weakness policy, and he goes for the Moonblast. Does a lot of damage. I was not expecting the Moonblast there. I was expecting the Tailwind, but it's all good. Hit the Serena with the Max Wormwind. It goes down, so I'm up 4-3 right now. Pretty good spot, I feel, at least. So here I think I make a little bit of a misplay, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about here. I feel like I could have gotten out for another turn of Max with my Appleton. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a second, but I think I Protect and then switch out into Luxray for the Intimidate. I think that's what I do here, yeah. So the issue with that is, what I should have done is, I should have clicked Trick Room. And I have the Trick Room tech on the Mr. Mime, excuse me. Specifically for this lead matchup. Now, what happens is, he clicks Tailwind, I click Trick Room, and I outspeed his entire team. Even with the Scarf Luxray under Trick Room, I outspeed him under Trick Room because he has Tailwind up, right? So that's kind of the tech there. I definitely should have clicked that, assuming I'm protecting the Appleton, and assuming he double targets into it, right? I feel like the Protect was kind of obvious for the Appleton, but it's all good. I definitely should have clicked Trick Room there. I felt like I could have been in a better spot, but he didn't click Tailwind, so it would not have been the best, considering I have Dragapult and Scarf Lux right in the back. So it would have been a decent play if he would have clicked Tailwind, but he actually didn't. So here you're going to see the reason why I have Scarf Luxray, and it's to outspeed the Whimsicott. So I go for the Ice Fang into Whimsicott. Does about 60, that's great damage. Goes for the Moonblast, and then he doubles down my Appleton and takes it out. So I could have gone for the Double Protect there, but just in case he misplayed, I just went for the Wormwind into Arcanine, I believe. So it's okay. Appleton did its job. Took down the Serena, which is big. I wish I could have done a little bit more, but it's whatever. Not much you can really do against Arcanine and Whimsicott, even though it's not justified. So I think I go Dragapult here. I believe I go Dragapult here. Yes, I do. Okay, so hear me out. Now, this actually ended up working out fine, but this was actually a misclick from me. I meant to switch out the Dragapult into the Mr. Mime, expecting a max Starfall, and then I was going to Ice Fang the Whimsicott again. However, I clicked Protect on Dragapult, and then I realized the play, so then I swap out the Luxray into Mr. Mime, and then, yeah, so that's a thing. It's okay though, because he's not doing that much to the Dragapult with max Starfall, and I stalled out his max, which is okay. It just saves me damage on the Luxray for late game, which I'm completely okay with. And at this point in the game, he clicked Tailwind, so here is where I click Trick Room. I'm thinking to myself, okay, he clicked Tailwind, now is when I click Trick Room. Because I know I live whatever he goes for into me unless he doubles into me, which I don't in what world would you double into a Mr. Mime Galar when there's a Dragapult on the field? So he goes for the Moonblast into the Dragapult slot, which I swapped into Luxray, so that's great. And then he goes for the Flare Blitz into Mr. Mime, and I am eating it up. Cardio is coming through, baby. Even though he is at -2, it's still cool to see a Mr. Mime Galar live a Flare Blitz from a Life Orb Arcanine. So he goes for the Tailwind, I go for the Trick Room the following turn, so I'm in a very good spot. Scarf Luxray outspeeds his entire team under Trick Room if he has Tailwind up, so that's really, really good for me. So I go for the Ice Shard into the Whimsicott, and I believe the Wild Charge into Arcanine. Now, I do snag a lucky crit here. I'm almost certain that crit mattered. I don't have a lot of attack investment into the Mr. Mime, unless he is like minus defense nature or something like that. I don't know what to tell you. I think that crit mattered. So sorry about that, but in the end game, it doesn't really matter that much, I don't think. So Arcanine goes down, and then I have Luxray and Dragapult in the back, and then he's got Slowking. So now I'm like, damn, he's got me. All he has to do is target down the Luxray, and I don't win because he outspeeds me, and I can't OHKO him with Dragapult. So there's good news and bad news. The good news is I live, and I do about 90% with that Shadow Ball. The other good news is he targets down the Dragapult, which means that I actually OHKO him with the combination of Shadow Ball and Wild Charge. If he targeted down the Luxray there, he wins because I was Life Orb and I wasn't Specs. If I was Specs, you die, but I was Life Orb. So GG to Bubble game 1. He could have had me. I kind of lucked out on the missed target, I think, but it's whatever. We take those. Actually, I don't even know if Shadow Ball would have killed Luxray. I do have a lot of HP investment on that thing. However, like I said, I don't really know, but his best shot I thought was hitting the Luxray for Scald or something like that. And then I would have died to the Shadow Ball the following turn, considering that I took Life Orb, and on top of that, the Shadow Ball plus Life Orb killed me that turn. So the following turn, you can assume that it would have killed me too, unless he low rolled and he has like no special attack investment. But based on the damage that Dragapult did, I'm assuming he's max HP, max special attack. That's just what I'm assuming. So either way, let's talk about game 2 since it's about to start. So I lead the PRIMARINA Sock lead that I told you guys about, the physical coaching PRIMARINA. Excuse me. So you know, he leads the Serena Grimmsnarl, which is actually the lead that gave this the most trouble in prep. So here's the thing: I coaching into the max guard because it goes through. So I'm expecting a max overgrowth into PRIMARINA and then him to either fake out the sock, not knowing that I'm inner focus, or set up screens. So the good thing is now, worst case scenario, he sets up reflect next turn, but I'm taking the brick break on the sock, right? So I can just brick break through the screens, and then PRIMARINA can just hit whatever it wants with a really strong move, right? Because I'm packing the Hailstorm and the Starfall, so I can pretty much pick my poison next turn. Good news is I get the max of PRIMARINA here, which is always cool to see, and then I get the max guard off. So I am actually EV'd on Sock to outspeed max speed Serena. So I assume he was going to Dynamax it, so I just max guard the PRIMARINA, or else Protect would have been safe there. However, I get the coaching off, so now PRIMARINA is at +1/+1, which is great, because now, since I saw the Life Orb on the Arcanine game 1, I now know, even if he's Expert Belt, I live a max overgrowth no matter what. So I go for the Brick Break. It does about 20% to that Serena, which is really, really, really great damage. It's actually a roll for me to pick up this KO here with the Hailstorm, considering I am +1. However, you're about to see this Hailstorm does not actually pick up the KO in the Serena. So I think the roll, you know what, depending on his spread, if he had a lot of HP investment, I don't think that it was, I don't think it was a roll. I think he just lives. So I'm assuming he has a lot of HP investment here, but if he has no HP investment, it's actually a roll, if I'm at +1. So this turn, what I do is I almost max guard here, and then just brick break into Serena, expecting him to go for another reflect. But I was thinking to myself, in what world does he go for another reflect when I just brick braked? So there's no way he does that. So either he swaps out the Grimmsnarl, or he attacks the Sock, or doubles into the PRIMARINA here. So I'm saying, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to go for the Ice Punch into Serena, and I know it kills from this range. So I take out the Serena, and then I Starfall into the Grimmsnarl, just picking up a double KO. So I'm in a really good spot right here. I think that I played the around the screens really great. It went almost as great as I wanted it to. I just wish that I could have gotten another boost on the PRIMARINA. It's all good though. But yeah, at this point in the game, I don't really know what else he can do. I have the Dragapult and Luxray in the back. So as long as he's not like Banded, Mudsdale, I think I'm okay, or like Pashoberry Mudsdale or something like that, I think I'm okay. With the Hail Chip and everything, and all the Life Orb and the Flare Blitz recoil, I see an out to this game. I'm pretty confident going into it. I think what I do here is I think I just attack with Sock and then attack with PRIMARINA into the Arcanine slot, or I'm sorry, into the Mudsdale slot, because I know that Luxray and Dragapult can handle the Arcanine, so all I gotta do is worry about the Mudsdale. Sock I make a little bit of a misplay. I definitely should have swapped the Sock out into the I definitely should have swapped the Sock out to Luxray there and got the Intimidate, but it's all good. I could have saved a little bit of differential, but in this league, differential doesn't matter. It's all about the wins. So I was just going for the safe play and getting a safe switch into the Dragapult here, which is great for me. So now I know that since differential doesn't matter, that Arcanine's going down here no matter what. He's either dying to Hail or he's dying to Life Orb. So so I can just double down the Mudsdale and get all the damage I want on the Mudsdale, considering that no matter what, Arcanine's going down here. And I know I outspeed with PRIMARINA, so I can get the liquidation off into it. And I know he's not stamina, so I'm good to go. And then on top of that, I have Superpower on Luxray. So after Hail, I 100% KO this Mudsdale. So this game, I played game 2 a little sloppy towards the end there, but I was doing it so that I didn't really care about differential. I cared about the win. So I know that I had Luxray in the back, so I could come in and superpower the Mudsdale and 100% pick up the KO here. So that's pretty much the game. I felt pretty good about this one, considering that I was struggling in prep a lot, like a lot. I even told Bubble that post game. GG to him, by the way. He played great. I don't know if you really expect physical PRIMARINA. And I felt like I played around the screens pretty good. I've actually struggled with that in the past, playing around screens and Grimmsnarl and stuff like that. So it makes me feel good that I can actually have success against it. Considering that, like I said before, in my past I've struggled a lot, especially with just prankster Pokemon in general. I tend to tunnel vision a little bit in my games. However, I think in this one I had a pretty clear mind of what I really wanted to do, and that was just Dynamax turn 1, set up my sweeper, have good speed control with the Trick Room on Mr. Mime. I didn't really need speed control in game 2 because he didn't bring the Tailwind option. So, you know, it's really tough sometimes to kind of understand what your opponent wants to do all the time. But in this league, you post your paste afterwards. And in majority of the people in this league actually upload. So I have some resources to try and figure out what my opponent is going to want to do against me. And in that case, I think that I'm improving. I think I'm improving in prep. I think I'm improving in play. I'm just really happy. I'm 4-3 right now, which just feels amazing considering that I inherited a 1-2 lead and then went 1-3 the next week. So yeah, like I said before, I'm just really happy with how I've been playing and prepping and improving in general. So yeah, that's basically the video, guys. Thanks for tuning in. GG to Bubble once again. Great game. I don't know what you can do against physical PRIMARINA. I don't really think anybody ever expects it, so I don't really blame you for getting frustrated. If you were, I don't really know if you were, but he completely he went with the flow with me. His work schedule's been absolutely insane. I feel that for sure. So thank you again for being open with me about the time in the day. Yeah, GG again to Bubble. It was a fun match. I had a lot of fun. On to next week. I actually don't even know who I'm playing next week, but whoever it is, I'll be ready. Thank you guys so much for watching in. GG to Bubble, and it's been Archery. Peace out, guys.